Hi guys, this is Priscilla.
And I'm Hannah.
And you are now watching Fitment Industries. We are here live at Sema Show.
At the Brixton Forge booth.
Come visit us.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries, and today we're at SEMA 2018. It's been a whole year since we've been back at SEMA, and we are in front of the Brixton Forge Skull booth. And we're gonna be talking to you about a couple things that Brixton, Skull, and everybody over here that has like the cool Lambos and the container, we're gonna talk about what they're doing and what makes them just so darn cool. So let's just get right into it. So Brixton Forge is a company that you guys probably haven't heard of too much about. Now, if you think about Brixton Forge as a company, they're more about like the higher end stuff. So you would compare Brixton Forge to a company like HRE, to a company like Voss, and it would probably be above like Rohana multi-piece wheels or something like a Rotifor multi-piece wheel, because a set of these is actually gonna be right around $8,000 to $12,000. Now, they will get more expensive because they actually just introduced a full carbon fiber barrel, which will bring a wheel set up to around $15,000. And I know you guys are watching this video like, why? Why would they do that? And that's because Brixton Forge specializes in high-end wheels. So they're more about like the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the F80s, things like that. But don't be alarmed, they have other wheels as well. So if you guys actually take a look behind me, we're gonna talk about a couple things as to why Brixton Forge is so expensive, but why it's so worth it. So the first thing that you guys have to remember is when you see wheels that are made, like multi-piece wheels, forged wheels, stuff like that, is that there's levels to it. So you have entry-level forged multi-piece, you have intermediary multi-piece, and then you have high-end multi-piece. That'd be your HREs, your Bostons, and then companies like Brixton. So one of the things that they have is called app forging. So it's APP forgings. Now it's a different sort of forging material than like your standard stuff. So this is the same stuff that like Lamborghini OEM forged wheels use. This is the same forging stuff that HRE uses, or companies like Vossen use for their multi-piece wheels. So you're already starting off with like a more expensive material. Now the second thing that you have to remember, we're gonna go into with a little bit of B-roll, but Brixton actually has this thing where they really don't care about milling time. So if you guys know the market, especially when it comes down to milling time, everything costs money. So the more time a wheel spends getting made, the more expensive it is for companies to actually produce the wheel. So what ends up happening is a lot of people will make sharp-ish looking wheels, but then they'll stop because they can only mill for about an hour or so. Well, Brixton just doesn't do that. They'll actually mill their wheels for as long as they need to get the perfect shot. So what ends up happening is these wheels can be milled for up to like 4 or 5 hours per wheel just to get the design finishes that they want, because that at the end of the day is what makes their wheels a little bit different. Now, are you guys thinking like that might make a price difference of, you know, $2,000 to $3,000? That's completely up to you. But because they do this, it's really the fact that they want to create a story when you're buying their wheels from Brixton. So it's kind of an interesting thing because they've only been established since 2013, which is weird, but that doesn't automatically mean that they don't know what they're doing. It just means that they've chosen to do a very select thing in the market by providing wheels to like the VIP high-end sort of market. They also have another brand called Skull Wheels, which is going to be your intermediary multi-piece wheel market, which is something that's going to be a little bit more Euro style and not so much of the VIP style. But then finally they have a flow form lineup that is actually probably going to be right around $2,700 to $2,900, and is something that is actually very, very cool if you're a BMW owner. So Brixton is coming out with a few different wheels. This is the actual RF7. So this is a full form Brixton wheel. So this will actually go on like F80s, M3s, things like that. And these will probably run you around $2,700 to $2,800, but they're probably one of the best looking full form wheels that we've seen in a good hot minute because of just the fact of their finish, and they're just really good wheels. They're extremely lightweight. They're actually very, very sharp looking, and they're very product specific. So if you have an M3 or you have an F80, this is pretty much what they're made for, which is pretty neat. So if you guys wanted any other reason to pick up a Brixton Forge wheel, maybe like the 8K price tag wasn't enough for you, like, you know, let's double that. Let's bring it up to like 14, 15,000. You can actually do that because what they did is they partnered with a company called Dymag, and they made one of the first actual produced full carbon fiber barrels. So you'll actually notice, what's the difference between this and like other carbon fiber barrels? Well, this is a full carbon fiber barrel. It's not an overlay, which is what a lot of other companies do, so that you can have that carbon fiber barrel look. So if you look at this, this is a 20x9, I believe. Is it a 20x9? So it's a 20x9 and it's 9.5 pounds. If you consider that for a barrel that's actually FEA tested, that is absolutely insane with how light that is. So if you actually care about rotational weight when you're looking at getting a forged multi-piece wheel for like the track or something like that, this will actually behave very, very well for you. And since it's FEA tested, it actually means that it works. So you actually see a lot of things sometimes that look really cool don't work. This does. So when you lift this up, it weighs absolutely nothing, which is absolutely just, it's crazy. So if that's not it, yeah, you like that? So in case you're wondering for any other reason to pick up some sort of addition to your Brixton Forge multi-piece wheel, you can actually partner with Dymag, get a full carbon fiber barrel with your Brixton Forge wheel. I mean, it's pretty neat. So you guys are like, oh my gosh, these wheels are like $10,000. Why would anybody spend $10,000 on a set of wheels? That's a great question. You know, sometimes people like to spend $400, sometimes people like to spend $4,000, and sometimes you just like to window shop at $10,000 wheels. That's okay. But here is why they're so expensive, and this is why they're so proud of the way that they make their wheels, because at the end of the day, Brixton is an extremely high-end company that does care about what they actually push out the door, which is actually kind of reminiscent of Acura. If you guys know Acura is kind of the same way. But we talked about ball and milling, we talked about how when they do their milling or when they do their machining that they don't waste time and they do it the right way the first time. So we're going to show you some shots as to what that means. So first off, when you take a look at a lot of the depth on the spoke, you'll see it's actually more of a 3D than your typical multi-piece wheel, because they'll shave in both sides and the inside of these wheels to help give it more depth and to really just make it pop and look better. Another thing that you might notice, especially with floating spokes, is that a lot of times the floating spoke is actually pretty thick. It's not a very thin piece of metal. What Brixton will do is they'll actually go through it continuously to get an extremely sharp floating spoke that really I haven't seen too much of before, and it just looks absolutely killer. And these are just a couple things that they do, included with the fact that they have this double ball milling, the fact that they do shave off as much weight as possible on the inside for the back pad, and then they shave more weight by cutting into the actual center here, and a whole bunch of other things, including the fact that they really just have it locked down. This is one of those companies that they know what they want to do. They don't push out a million designs. They don't push out, you know, a ton of social media. They don't try to be the biggest and the fastest, but they are trying to be the closest of what they can be to become the best. And these guys are probably one of the brands you'll go towards or lean towards if you have a Ferrari, if you have an F80, if you have a Lamborghini, if you're looking for something that's higher end, or if you're looking for a center lock wheel, you're looking for something for your 911, you're looking for something like that. Brixton is definitely one of those companies. So it is cool to see a company like this actually at SEMA, because we don't see a lot of companies that are like this, and to see one kind of come on board and to show us some of these new wheels and kind of what makes them a little bit different is super cool. Because what you'll notice with certain companies is that when you go from something like a $7,000 or $6,000 set of wheels up to like a 9 or a 10, you might think that there's this massive change. And really, if you're not trained to look at it, you probably won't catch it, but that doesn't mean that the value is not there. Brixton is one of those companies that focuses on the meticulate, and that's why you see just a little bit different things in their wheels versus probably a lot of other things that you're gonna see at SEMA. So that is the Brixton Forged booth. We hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a comment on what wheel you want us to talk. Drop a comment on what wheel you guys want us to talk about next. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe. We will see you later. Peace.